Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I am your dad here with Mateo Lopez and our special celebrity Facebook advertising guru guest, Jack Wheeler. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great, guys. Good to see you again.
How are you doing, Teo?
I'm really excited and I'm happy because King Wheeler is in the house, so I'm good.
Brings back old
So
times, boys. Old times.
yeah, so let's talk about that. We met you back in the days when we were operating gyms ourselves, and you were like the boss, like the kingpin of this group called Net Profit Explosion, which I think still exists in some capacity. They're not as prevalent anymore,
Before
but
Tube Rain, before Gym Launch, before
Yeah.
all these other people, there was NPE.
Net Profit Explosion.
Yeah, they're still going, I think. They're still going.
Okay, good for them. And so, yeah, there was like a dashboard there where you could put your metrics, and it was like a leaderboard. So it would rank all the different gyms within the system. And then when we joined, we had like this one banger month, and we like shot up to the top of the leaderboard. And you like literally hunted us down
I did.
and, and cornered us in a room, and were like, "Tell me all your secrets." And then we just proceeded to milk you for information for the next 6 years, and that's how and that's how
like
the
that's-
relationship started.
It,
Like that
it was
Spider-Man
mutual.
meme.
It was
It's
mutual.
like, tell me your secrets. No, you tell me your secrets.
Yep,
No, tell
that's
me
exactly
your
what
secrets.
it was. Yeah, that was your guys' grand opening, I think. Your grand opening stats that blew up. And I said, all right, these kids from the East Coast, what are they up to?
Yeah,
What's
we did
going
like
on?
$250,000. We did over $250,000 in sales in 48 hours. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And
was
it
great.
was wild, but that was very much not like our marketing genius and we learned this later. It wasn't because we were marketing geniuses. It was just because it was like an amazing time to be opening up a CrossFit in Manhattan. But, sometimes luck's okay.
Yeah. You guys executed. You did what you were supposed to. That's what half the battle is.
So the reason I wanted to interview you, and the reason I thought you would be helpful for our community, is that you've been running a 7+ figure gym for what now? A decade?
Yeah, we got two seven-figure gyms now. They're both over $100,000 a month, and
Well, at least
go.
one for over a decade,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 13 years for one, and going on 8 for another.
So, is everyone knows how incredibly difficult it is to open one gym, get it to 100 grand, and continue to maintain it. You've managed to do that across 2 locations, which is incredibly difficult. And you are in a town that most people have never even heard of. Red Deer, Canada. What is that?
Yeah, yeah, both
Taylor and I
are.
had to Google that.
Yeah, both are. Our studios are in towns less than 100,000 people. One is in Red Deer, Alberta, so central Alberta, great blue collar community. Another one is Sherwood Park, Alberta. It's kind of a blue collar suburb outside of a larger metro center of Edmonton, Alberta. But Sherwood Park has about 70,000 people. Red Deer has about 100,000, and no, it's been definitely unique. It's different than being in the big cities. But once you dig your roots, they can go a lot deeper.
Shout out to
Arguably
the
better than being in the big cities.
I think so. Like our, we don't have much data to compare it against to, except other people's, information. But, our both our gyms are in the top 1% in Canada, and we're in small places that the market would be quote unquote bad, and everything else. Plus, we still have they're both affluent markets, so we have all the competitors, and then some. So it's not a hometown discount or a small town advantage like really small towns do, where you only have you versus your uncle. We have all the big boys and big girls playing against us. But yeah, like I said, we have one gym that's going, 140 a month, and another gym that's doing about 120 a month. So it's doing really, really good on that, and they're on autopilot.
Yeah, if you're thinking this is some like backwater town in like North Dakota, this is there's some major oil money in Red Deer, Canada. So
Yep.
there's some coin there, some people there who can pay for personal training and private training, just to give the listeners a little bit of context. But there's also just a very nice Boston pizza. It's the gathering place of the local community.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
We go there every time we're in town visiting
Yep.
Jack Wheeler. So if you ever find yourself in Red Deer, Canada, please
It'd be my pleasure.
make your way to
Boston
the
pizza.
BP.
And I think the walls get darker and the lights get dimmer every time we go, boys. It's
Can't wait to return.
yeah, it's getting dingier every time.
I remember the first time I visited you and you were crushing it. We're like, this guy's making millions of dollars in this like middle of nowhere town. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what kind of car he's going to pick us up. Like, is it going to be like a Maserati or is he going to come in with
No
like
way.
a Ferrari? And then you roll up in like a pimped out Kia Sedona.
That's right, man. That's right. Dadmobile.
You bought some like minivan with every single feature on it. We were
Yeah,
like,
we
oh
got
my
little
God.
kiddos. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now I've upgraded to an 11-year-old Dodge Journey now. So and now I've moved into the old man SUV market that just crossed 230,000 kilometers.
It really was a spiritual journey. Philosophies, minds were changed. You know, I remember. I don't know why I went on this trip. I was still a very new employee at John's first gym, but I remember. Before we were like very anti. I remember going into it. John was like very anti like retail. Like, we're not going to sell snake oil. We're going to sell fitness. And then we went to your Red Deer gym, and you were like, I make thousands upon thousands of dollars selling smoothies. And John was like, let's build a smoothie bar when we get back home. So it was a very enlightening journey.
I literally have that to discuss because it's still to this day is one of the only gyms that I've been to that runs this specific model. I think it's so smart. You want to explain the Red Deer smoothie program to our listeners and how you've managed to turn smoothies into a cash machine?
Yeah, so we have it set up both at each location. It runs itself. We have a VIP shake program. Now, this is incredibly simple. We have a blender and a freezer and 4 shakes that our clients can choose from. And they pre-purchase packs, 10, 25, and 50 packs in advance, just like Costco, save in bulk. They purchase it all at once. And we have these little cards. They look like little business cards with a hole punch at the top. And they write their name, the shake they'd want for after their session, and anything inside that shake that they want extras. And then we have that at least that 30 minutes to get that client that shake ready, slide it over top their straw, throw it in our fridge at the front desk. So the cash comes up to us first. We get time to make that shake for them. And then they get a massively great post-workout shake ready to go after their workout. Super convenient for all parties.
And you build it into the membership, right? It's like recurring.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, so we have it in our VIP model, but even on our 6-week challenges, which we'll talk about, we have a shake program specifically for that. That's 6 weeks in length that matches their session count. And then we just allocate it towards certain memberships. And you say, hey, you're on 3 times a week. That's going to give you 12 sessions a month. Here's 12 shakes a month. We're going to have this on recurring. The longer you stay with us, the longer your package is, the cheaper to get. And that money comes up to us up front. We keep track of it just more or less inside of our MindBody software. And it gives us time at the front desk, which is probably the most important thing. So we don't get, 10 people waiting in line, while we're trying to sign up clients or service other clients. We have at least 30 minutes to make that shake, put it in the fridge, ready to go for that person so they can just grab it. They're on the way out. They're going back to work. They're going back to the office. They're going back home. It's just a win-win for all parties. And then, the more they buy, the cheaper the shakes get. And it's still one of our big revenue centers. And really just the shakes alone, they kind of help us cover the vast majority of our administrative staff payroll, right? So it's kind of a win-win. So we can make sure that staff, even though they're administrative, they're revenue generating, for serving clients and such, but also on the back end. So they're doing that and then selling our own supplement line as well. So it's a win-win.
What I love about it is you had I remember going into their bathrooms and when I'm going to the urinal, and there's just a big poster in front of my face being like,
yep,
you should sign up for the VIP shake
Get
program
the shakes.
They're
still there.
I should go get some.
Yep,
it's
they're
amazing.
Still there.
It's just everywhere. You're just constantly remarketing to your current clients. It's fantastic.
Yeah, our internal marketing is is super important, and we try to have 90-day cyclical internal marketing, and we do internal deals for our clients along with community events, and then trainer-led events. So it's just super important to the best customers I have are the ones you already have, and the people that are going to buy the most from me are the people that have bought from me before. So it's there. And then we understood fitness is one component of it, but those clients are going to have or should have, something similar to this somewhere, and they're going to get it somewhere else. They're going to go to Booster Juice and get some crud quality on that one, or they're going to go somewhere else, or they're going to buy some, Costco whey protein that's going to be cheap but terrible for them. So it's like, let's just help them out. Let's give them the convenience, making sure they get a high quality product. It's included in their membership. It's just really easy and seamless for both parties.
Right, because a lot of people struggle. They're like, how do I need an admin. Like a lot of CrossFits especially still don't have anybody at the front desk checking people in and out.
Yeah.
And so, here it is. I found the pictures from when we visited.
Oh God, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, so I don't know if your gym probably still doesn't look like this, but yeah. So here it is. This is like the typical. How do I open this? Yeah, you just come through the warehouse door. There you go. Best of 2012. That's where you put your shoes. That's your meal fridge. And let's see. You even did the electrical box. You have the electrical
So thank
box.
goodness that thing has been removed by the city. We have nice flowers and everything else outside now, but
So that's the front desk. So the first thing is you see all this social proof. You have the client success manual. And then the first thing you see there is the smoothie advertisement. I remember we walk in and we're going to do this workout. And Jack's like, oh, just fill out your smoothie punch cards. And so we tailor make our ingredients. We go do a nice little workout. And then when we're laying down on the ground after the workout, someone from the front desk is, John Mateo, here's your berry blaster. And which is this is incredible. This is really nice. I would definitely buy this if I was here. So it's a sneaky way to get a ton of to just basically pay for your admin staff.
Well, and the other piece too, right? The protein in your shakes, that's all yours too, right?
You
sourced it locally, right?
Oh,
it's
right there.
It's So it's a lot of similar things in the gym, but we use our own protein powder inside of our shakes. So the clients they love the shakes. They're like, how do you make this? Sure, it's simple ingredients that you can do at home. It's nothing fancy or anything else. It's berries and juice, and here's our
when
ingredients.
You need the protein powder, it's right
here. It is
big bag
exactly.
For you. It's 360 Fitness on it.
Yeah, it's great. It's just really aligned with our clients, what they're looking for, what they need, and then when we survey our clients, they're getting these things from somewhere else. Somebody that they don't know, like, and trust, and they don't understand the product that they're buying, and that's fair because that snake oil stuff is out there, and they're just going to be grabbing the things that have been sold to them the most or the cheapest, and probably neither of them are the best. So we just kind of take that out of the equation and go from there. But our front desk looks pretty similar. We have tons more social proof at the front. We have kind of like a social proof corner for all of our consultations now, and we sell them shakes as well.
Yeah, so you can see that's the door that we looked at, the door that looked like it belonged to a vape shop. You walk in there and you're greeted by this beautiful front desk area. And so when he's saying he runs this out of a tiny footprint, like most gyms, we were in a 1,800 square foot gym in Hoboken, New Jersey, and then our usable square feet in Manhattan wasn't large enough that we could figure out a way to make it work. But all of it's made in that back corner there, right? That's the sink.
Yeah, behind the
There's
top
a
wall there.
right there, and then the fridge was somewhere here, right, where the members would grab it, and that was the whole operation. And so, what kind of numbers do you do in a good month from smoothie sales?
Smoothie sales, I'd say between both locations, just direct, we're probably about $5,000 to $6,000 a month in just direct shakes and smoothies. But we're doing about, I'd say, between $15,000 and $20,000 a month total, for our front end product sales, which include individual shakes and packs between the two locations. So we're easily doing well over $200,000 a year, in just those sales. And the great thing, it seems like a lot, but it's just for our personal training clients at both locations. We have next to none, public sales or walk-in sales, maybe 1% to 2%. That's all clients. That's all clients that are there, no other big marketing besides internally. And we try to have just those rolling deals every 90 days to kind of make it sticky, introduce something new to the client, and then get them on a recurring.
I know we want to talk marketing really soon here, but while we're still on the food stuffs, I don't know if you still have it, but there was the picture of there's the
That's the bathroom advertisement.
Yeah.
That's the bathroom telling you to buy a logbook and buy some shakes. Look at that.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember was the meal program that you had. John had that picture of the fridge there, and you said that you
no, that's a smoothie one. Oh,
you would source there's the fridge. You would source the food like locally, and then just pay the restaurant that was next door to you just to make the meal, right? Or how did it work?
So it's for a Red Deer location, we did the same thing. It's a different restaurant now. But yes, the 360 Market, the posters you just seen there, and it's a wonderful restaurant. And we just give them, our ideal macros and the calorie ranges, and just to make it super simple for the person, and they cook in bulk and put it in these, to go meal containers, more or less, deliver it to the gym. We throw it in our freezer. And again, we have single options, we have 10-pack options, and then we have recurring options. Like, would you like these 10 meals every single month? We just have it ready for them at the beginning of the month. It works really well. For our Sherwood Park location, we actually, worked with a meal prep company. So we have our own sites through it and affiliate codes and direct to it. So we deliver the same service to them, but we don't do it in-house. We go through third party in our Sherwood Park because they have a lot more options available being next to a big metro center, but it accomplishes both, and revenue is really similar.
And for someone who's like, I have a restaurant down the street, like how do you approach them? How did you do it?
Yeah, well, we told them like, hey, these are our clients. These are their issues. These are the problems that we're trying to help solve. And we can't do it in-house, but we can definitely, sell it to them at point of sale. You be the delivery of it. Here is what our clients are looking for. And as coaches, this is what we'd be wanting to look for. Can you deliver this to us? And we still sell them for about $10 to $13 a meal. So it's great on that. It's kind of like same price as a McDonald's cheeseburger meal kind of deal. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't pricing them out of the market. They have a meal ready to go. They can grab them. They can thaw them, have them ready for dinner, put them in the freezer for later use. But we just approached the restaurant owners and said, here it is. We have all these clients that are going somewhere else. So you might as well hit them, right? So just easy on that. And they deliver it and put in the orders for it and easy.
Did you promise them like a certain amount of sales, or you were just like,
no, well, I took all, yeah, well, and we took all the risk, right? So we buy it wholesale from them and then go,
okay,
right? So there's really no risk to them. We just more or less said, hey, the larger volume we're doing, we want it to be at this price point, so we want these calories and these macros. Make sure your ingredients and your labor and all your costs fit these margins. After that, it's up to you. Don't outprice yourself. This is what we're willing to pay. Don't go above or below.
And so there's another thing I wanted to show here. Like, we didn't really get a full picture of the gym. Like, it's not, you might be hearing Wheeler talk about all this different stuff that's going on. It's not a massive location. Like, how many square feet is the gym?
Well, our Red Deer location is about 7,000 square feet, but it's over 2 floors.
Right.
So
this is the bottom floor.
Yeah. So that main area right there is what 2,500 square feet. And I bet you we have about another 2,500 square feet upstairs of like usable functional space, but we have a lot of people that are a lot of space that's used up in like foyers and lobbies and staircases and things like that. But functional space, I'd say about 5,500 square feet. And to be honest, like
pretty similar to what everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And
what most gym owners have.
Yeah. And it's, we don't need any more. We're at capacity, but we still don't need any more. The revenue generated per square foot wouldn't get any better if we doubled the space. It's kind of a nice little sweet spot, and we could probably get away with having a smaller square foot, but just more utilized space. And our Sherwood Park location, our newer location, is more of a warehouse, big rectangle. It's only 6,500 square feet, but it's 6,000 square feet of functional fitness space, which is wonderful. And they have a beautiful front desk as well at the front, and same kind of layout. You walk in, beautiful front desk, all of our shakes, smoothies, supplements, clothing lines, seating area, massive wall of social proof, TVs running testimonials and social proof, 24 hours a day. So client comes in, there's shock, awe, like this is for me right away. And then you see a whole bunch of people that looked and act like them, which is wonderful.
Talk about that a little bit more, because especially in the CrossFit community, you have a lot of people who are skimping. Like we went 4 years without a front desk area until you convinced us on the value and ROI
Yeah.
of having one. A lot of people see it as this, like, it's a waste of money, but in reality, it's actually like something that generates a lot more money than, say, a row of assault bikes would.
Yeah, for sure. And for us, being in the gym is it's every day, right? It's elementary for us. We're born and raised in gyms more or less, and we've been there for most of our adult life. But a lot of our members coming in, the gym is a very scary, very intimidating, uncomfortable place. And if you can separate yourself out from the regular people that maybe don't have a front desk, that you walk into a class, or just like this gross boot room, things like that, you can really separate yourself out right off the bat and really establish yourself as the expert. And when you get somebody there, a simple hello, handshake, a nice greeting, here's a bottle of water, here's our new client intake forms, please come take a seat over here. The team will be right with you. They sit surrounded by social proof on all sides. Pictures, we have a client success book where it's like, it says new to 360 Fitness, please read me. It has articles about our charity events and our community events. It has social proof. It has testimonials. It has screenshots of Google reviews. That stuff is all around us. And then on another wall, they have all of our awards and, recognition, that kind of thing. So they get there, they're just surrounded by people that look, act, and talk like them. That all for the same intro service that they're going to be doing. And then that front desk person, again, that we wouldn't be able to pay for unless they are revenue generating, is there to greet them. So as soon as they walk in, hi, handshake, here's the chair, here's a free bottle of water, there's the washrooms if you need to. It just really creates the conversation on a good path right off the bat. And it just really gets that client to kind of immerse himself in the community before that salesperson even sits down and chats with them.
I remember that you kind of, when you gave us the tour, that was really eye-opening, right? Because it's like, yeah, they're coming in for a 1:30 appointment, but I'm going to make them sit, actually. We're running behind a little bit. Just wait right here. That's very much on purpose, because then they're sitting in this chair. And when Jack's describing, like, they're surrounded by social proof, it's like these like billboard size kind of like, posters of just like before and after pictures and just people being happy. And like, this testimonial, this intro booklet that's really a disguise for just like a giant testimonial social proof booklet.
That's what it is.
Is just like sitting there. They have to like look at it and they have to look at all this stuff. And they're just basically like, think about it. They have to take all this in before they go in to actually have the sales consultation, right? So it's pretty ingenious.
Every one of these.
Yeah.
Before and after. This is a separate set of photos. The backdrop of every one of these is before and after.
Yeah.
The reason I had to go to my pictures from my 2012 visit.
It's even more than that
Red
now.
Deer, is because when I went to Jack's page, I couldn't find any pictures of the gym because he flooded so much of the Google My Business listing with just social proof photos. So I'm just, I was just tired. Like you can see in the background, just social proof. So this is the lounge area we're talking about, social proof. And I just got tired of scrolling. So
they're there. They're there. But we have
through
it's a
10 years
tidal
of
wave.
photos to find pictures of the actual gym.
Yeah, and we honestly, we pro 2 a day, 2 social proof success stories every single day at each location, and they just keep going. So it's just a tidal wave of social proof. And in Shore Park, we have it in front of our mural. Same thing, social proof all around them too. So when they take those pictures, it's a good overwhelming. But both locations, they sit down, that consultation area is very similar, and it really sets a tone for the conversation going forward. And we have that new client intake form that really lets them sit down. Why are they here? How we can help them. We start to go over problems and solutions that they create for themselves inside the intake form, and we really just hold it up to them. And we call it holding up the mirror. So it doesn't feel salesy. It's just going over what they want, what they're looking for. We're a good fit. It's a system.
I think we
buying.
kind of skipped over it, right? But like, this is expensive stuff. It's personal training and semi-private personal training, right? So it's basically like a doctor's office. When you go to a doctor's office, you sit in the waiting room and you're filling out the like, what's wrong with you form. You have the same form that they have to fill out while they're sitting in front of all this before and after photos. And doctors are expensive, so you're expensive, right? You're kind of creating that, like you said, setting the tone that, yeah, this is a premium service and we're going to get you an amazing result. So just don't get freaked out when you see how expensive it's going to be at the end.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thanks. And, we're upfront with the pricing and everything else too. So it's never a big shock. There's payment options and things like that. So there's different AB offers. There's something for everybody. But even inside the intake forms, we say like, our most popular program is here. This one gets the best results. A typical investment is this, and like it's to really forecasting it out rather than just like a massive price. It's like, this gets the best results. The most of our clients are on here, that herd mentality. Typical investment is this. Typical results on this program are this as well. Are you okay with this? And they have to sign off.
Sheet? Like, can you show us a pricing sheet?
We have 2 options. That's it for our intro offer. Our pricing sheet for our conversions is, quite a bit bigger, but for our intro 6-week challenge, they can do A or B, and they can pay up front or do weekly. That's it. Right, so I do have a sales sheet.
Tell me the pricing.
Sure. It's $600.
What does it cost?
It's $600 for a 6-week challenge, really, in some sort of form. But our pricing sheet is super simple. If you guys do want to see it, it's nothing crazy.
I mean, one thing I thought, like, you're expensive, but like we've had like Dan Trink and Kyle Fields from the Fort, right? Those are like they're super expensive.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thought was a little different, that is a little more industry standard now, was that you did 30 or 45-minute sessions. I don't know if that's still the case.
30-minute sessions. Yeah.
Right. So 30-minute sessions. So someone would come in and they had a warm-up and kind of a cool-down prescribed ahead of time. They did it on their own. And then the trainer, the semi-private session, like, was done just for like the meat and the potatoes of the training, so you could kind of control your overhead and also control the pricing on the service, because you're really only getting trained for 30 minutes of the like 45-minute or hour workout time, but you're getting all the same thing, right? Because you don't really need a personal trainer if it's like just walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes, which, like, if you're doing Gen Pop, like, that's enough to make a substantial difference. Like, they can do that on their own. Just get in 15 minutes before the session, you do that, and then you're warmed up, and then we're going to get going.
Yeah.
And that was something that I was like, oh, that is really smart, and I've never seen that before.
Yeah. And that's in our client agreement with them, and that's in our sales presentation, that it's going to cut their budget in half, but also allow them to come more frequent. And we always tell our clients that, it's not all about just volume. It's not once or twice a week of an hour each session. I'd rather you be here 3 or 4 times. It's going to create more of habits and patterns and routines and added frequency to do so. And it's going to elongate your budget and stretch it out. So it's a client win. It's a gym win. And really, I know it sounds kind of corny, but the community that we build in our warm up and cool down areas is tremendous. Massively tremendous. So the clients are there for the 30-minute sessions, but they're warming up together, they're cooling down together. There's clients coming in and out for the cardio. It's just really nice. It's like a little golf and country club, but with weights and sweatpants.
Right. So you're kind of, because you miss some of that community aspect when you're doing one-on-one, but it sounds like you're capturing that by kind of forcing everyone to warm up together on their own in a similar area, and everyone kind of knows the drill, so they can kind of chit chat about that, and then they move into the one-on-one for and then you're able to charge one-on-one prices while still getting the benefits of the group,
right?
Building the community aspects of the group warm-up, which that's pretty ingenious, right? I must say.
Yeah, and we have an urgency element behind it too, right? Every time that we've sold 1-hour sessions, typically that client shows up at the start of their session, if not late. We reduced it to 30 minutes, so the scarcity is there, the urgency is there. That client shows up earlier than expected, earlier than be previous, because they know they only have 30 minutes for it. And then we don't have to charge crazy, but we're still making better margins off 2 30-minute sessions than we are for a 1-hour session with a client. So it makes it a lot more palatable for our consumers. It makes it a little bit more balanced for us, and we can deliver more personal training hours to just a few more people, it's just a win-win altogether. And our clientele is, most of our clients are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. If we train effective, if we train smart in a private, comfortable area with no waiting times for equipment or space, we can get a ton done in a 30-minute strength training session, especially if they're on a proper warm-up and a cool down. So
And the
it's
perceived
just a
value is so
win-win.
similar. Like the
Yep.
perceived value is just
They don't. Yeah. Nobody ever balks like, oh, it's not a 60-minute session, so I'm out of here. It's like, no, we can get you results in half the time. And they're like, oh,
I'd rather do that.
Yeah, so let's go down that route. It's the same price, it's quicker, and I can come more often, and I get all these perks, for free. Done. Let's do that.
So when I think of you in the realm of like the fitness business, like the word you own in my head is the 6-week challenge. Like
Yeah.
one of the things that we bonded over, we were both pretty early to see the opportunity with Facebook ads. So this is like 2013 to 2015 was kind of like the golden era.
It is.
And you were just making absolute coin during that session. And then when I looked at your ads today, fast forward 11 years later, it's still the exact same thing, So you got a lot of people who are like trying to complicate it, trying to invent new offers, trying to do all this fancy stuff. But like, I look at you, you've been crushing it for over a decade, just doing basically the same thing. Like, talk to us about what your front end offer is, what your ad set is, and why you think it works so well.
And I didn't believe it too. Before this, I looked, I was like, no way. And it's every ad still said looking for 10 men in Red Deer area.
It's really simple.
Every ad still said looking for these people in this town.
It's great.
Great program to transform your body and physique. It's awesome.
You're totally right. Like, the call to actions and the ads, the ad formulas and kind of the creative behind it is really similar. We have hundreds of ad creatives that we cycle throughout the year. But ultimately, like, our deliverable is our 6-week challenge. We have a spring and a fall and a Christmas and a New Year and a beginner and a busy parents. And they're all kind of framed differently. They're packaged different. They have different market media and messaging behind it. They're calling out certain clients and different attributes and where that customer is along their journey and throughout the year. But ultimately, it's for a 6-week intro person training program, nutrition, fitness, and accountability. Those 3 things put together. Now, the great thing is that we can run these programs evergreen all year long, and we just change our ad copy and our landing pages. So it keeps things fresh. It keeps things energized. It gets different people throughout the year. And then for our fulfillment, we can just really dial it in. Like, we're running the same process every day. We don't have to worry about, hey, the 21-day challenge, this is a way to do it. And this is a conversion. And this is this for a 28-day and a 90-day program and an 8-week. It's like, no, we have a 6-week challenge and we know exactly how to sell it, what the script is, how to get them onboarded quickly, how to get them all, the resources, how to book them in, when to do the goal setting sessions, when to do the upsell sessions. And then you can really track your stats. Because you're not running a campaign once a year, or twice a year, and it's hard to compare data. It's like we have 10 plus years of running an evergreen 6-week challenge that we can see which one is doing better against another and make a better decision because of it.
And how is it? But it must have evolved, right? Because while it's like when we were doing marketing for gyms, like there would be an audience size of like 50,000 people, and after a certain amount of time, like, you've hit all of them, right? So how are you, and Red Deer's not that big. So what are you, I know you said you kind of changed it slightly for the season, but is that really it? Is that all it takes?
Honestly, yes. So we have certain variations of our audience, but you can only manipulate that audience so much, right? And it's the creatives, it's the call outs, it's the speciality behind the program that kind of draws people differently as well. And one thing is we did really, really well about 4 years ago, and this has helped us kind of keep this going, is we have our main 6-week challenge for people 49 and under, and we have our Fit or 50 6-week challenge for obviously folks over 50. And we have seasonal Fit or 50 challenges and seasonal 6-week challenges. And ultimately, they're still the exact same fulfillment, but you're calling out a different person at different times of the year for different intro offers. But really, they're just layers. And our audience, we can manipulate it a little bit, but you just keep going.
So it sounds like when you're saying creative, it's just like changing the images and the videos once in a while. That's enough to keep it fresh for the same size audience.
Yeah, and even the name of the program, the seasonality of it, it's you meet the customer where they're at. And we do the same thing as consumers. We we want to be with the new thing and where we're at. We're stopping our New Year 6-week challenge, now. It doesn't make any sense to keep it going all the way through. Now it's going to roll into the beginner's 6-week challenge. And then in the summer, it's going to be a summer 6-week challenge. And then it's a back to school busy parents 6-week challenge. And then it's a Christmas
for the chimney.
Exactly. It's same thing, guys, but you just do those and you dial them in and you just call out a certain person because they're on a path and a journey too. So they're not going to be the same absorption of that information all year long. Right. And a lot of our people are on our lists, on our pages and on our profiles and on our email list for 6 to 18 months, before they purchase. So our job is just maintain their attention, keep it fresh and nurture them along the way. Right. Rather than just blasting the same thing in their face the whole time. And a lot of the times they've seen our ads, they've clicked the links, they've done the lead forms, they've submitted the things 6, 8 months ago. They never showed up for their session or they didn't book or anything else. And then boom, you call them out for something different. It hits a resonation. They're in. Right. So you just kind of keeping that person. Yeah.
This spring, I'm looking for 5 men.
Yes, we are.
I'm looking for 5 men
yes,
again.
we are.
This fall, I'm looking for another set of 5 men.
You're right. And that's,
physique.
I know it sounds.
Hat.
Yeah, right.
I don't even change my hat. But a lot of those things, and we have videos and stuff like that we've done over the years, and we kind of just cycle them through. But as that consumer, you're at where you're at, So if you're always kind of thinking of next month or next week or next Monday, or in the spring, after Christmas, you're always kind of thinking seasonality and calendar based, So we base our marketing around that as well. So if they have that feeling of hey, I'm going to start at X, and then we match a program that is matching their dates or their time or their season, it just makes it good. And it's nice because we can have some really creative around those seasons rather than just generic 6-week challenge. We can do some fun things based on that.
Yeah, it's I'm not going to be I'm going to be traveling for the summer 6-week challenge. Oh, that's so great! We have our back to school 6-week challenge. We can sign you up for that right now.
Exactly. It's exactly it. So there's just always something for it. And, the customers like it. They know what it is. And then the great thing about it is our social proof just says 6-week challenge. Everything on that, all of our testimonials, all of it, everything is for that. There it is.
There's been that's left since 2009.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's our generic one that kind of runs in the background. Right. And then we have individual sales pages for all these individual campaigns, where 90% of it is the same, but we have different colors and different call outs and a different video, things like that. There's Fedora 50. Yeah. It's all there and it's just really similar.
And so a lot of the strategy is just grabbing emails. Because as you said before, you're able to convert, people 6 months after they've opted in, right?
Yeah.
So how are you you're making those sales via email? They're
for the most part
on their own?
Yeah. So we do 2 things for our marketing. So we have 75% of our ad budget going towards paid programs, our 6-week challenge and our Fedora 50. But we also have 25% of our ad budget on evergreen brand awareness, campaigns where we're giving stuff out for free, either through education or resources. We sprinkle some client success videos in there as well, but we just give things out. So every single month we have, lead magnet access to our ebooks or video courses or behind the scenes challenges, things like that. And we get about 200 to 400 organic leads, whatever you want to call them, cold leads every single month. And they just kind of roll in the background. Yeah, things like that. The weight loss motivation ebooks, things. And then we do seasonal stuff on that too. 2 to 4 lead magnets every single month, depending on the month and depending on kind of what we're looking to do. And we get leads for $4 or less. They're on our email campaigns for 6 to 18 months, and they're just a really warm consumer that buys right away. So it reduces our cost per lead on our paid ad programs. It increases our word of mouth, and it increases people literally just picking up the phone, calling, "Hey, I want to do the 6-week challenge. Can I sign up over the phone?" So it really helps us out with that. And we're not super salesy in our lead magnet things. We just deliver a 2-week sequence via text and email that just continuously helps them solve that one problem that they downloaded or viewed or accessed, right? And then we just put them in our regular prospect funnels, which is just an overwhelming tidal wave of social proof every 3 days for the rest of their life.
To reemphasize for those people listening, Jack is okay creating ads and getting people to opt in and paying $4 per opt-in and not making any money on them for at least 6 to 18 months. Because he knows he's going to be able to sell them later on for a $600 package that he can then convert them into, we haven't talked about
a $6,500 package. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our conversion is 10x, right? It's great. And the main thing about like those lead magnet ones is like you just give goodwill. You give goodwill, you give good karma. And a lot of times like they're problem aware. They're just not fully aware that there's a solution out there for them. So we just help solve micro problems for them at any time. We have sleep guides, and here's fat loss recipes, and here is a guide on HIIT or running your first 5K, or how to foam roll. Here's how to stretch properly. Here's things like that, where it's just like there's one micro problem that they have, and you solve 3 or 4 of those, and you are the go-to person. So when they are ready, when they're kind of out of that tinker phase into like, I have to take action phase, you're top of mind. You always go to the person that has helped you in the past without asking for anything in return, right? You go to that, you're at the top of the funnel already. So when they do see our 6-week challenge ads, their engagement is off the charts. So that's why we can literally run our 6-week challenge on Evergreen, because our cost per lead is in our marketing, in our ratios, and in our KPIs pretty much every single month for 10 years straight. But I don't think we could have those ad results if we didn't have brand awareness and goodwill marketing attached to it. So it's just cyclical.
One of the things that I think gym owners could learn from you is when we had the Fort guys on, they're like, we spent $100,000 on coaching, and then we spent $100,000 on like camera gear, and then we spend $15,000 a month on like these professional editing services. Like a lot of your stuff, you look at it and it's not, the most like hard to replicate stuff in the entire world. It's like what your superpower is you just get shit done. Right. Like I remember when we would share ideas, we would give you this idea like, hey, we would do this 6-week sequence is working really well for us. Like we can share it with you. And you're like, oh, no need. I did one. And it was like 3 days had elapsed since when we told you about it. And it was like a 10-hour project. Right. And so, or like, best practice is swap out your lead magnet every quarter. So you would just do that. And then every 2 years we would get a text being like, yo, desserts are hot right now. You need a dessert.
They are.
Yeah. What's the secret
you
to
just
breaking
go winners.
out lead magnets? Yeah.
We have 24 lead magnets that we cycle. So we have 2 a month, and we cycle them out. We have them in our calendar, and they're based on where people are at certain times of the year. And living in Alberta, Canada, everything is seasonal. The winter is dramatically different than the summer, and spring is dramatically different than the fall, and like different actions that people are going to be taking are pretty predictable, and we base things around those, so we have, our top 10 fitness barbecue recipes that go out around Canada Day, your Independence Day kind of thing. We have our 31 guilt-free dessert recipes that go out around Christmas. We have 0 to 5K, that running programs coming out in April, getting people ready for the summer, things like that. They just kind of rotate and roll. And then we have one that's kind of sprinkled in, and we have usually a food one and a fitness one that go hand in hand. Recipes with a niche solving problem. And we just run them all the time.
There it is. The dessert. Oh, 1 second.
Which one do you got? And honestly, some of these ebooks are just like Microsoft Word documents. Other ones are like beautiful Canva docs, and they convert the same. They don't matter.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's
That's
Right.
interesting.
That was the thing, because we were like, oh, we're going to have to do all this stuff and get professional this or that. You're like, dude, just do it. Just do it. You can fix it later. Just go. You're like, oh, you're wasting time.
Yeah. And like, honestly, that lead magnet page that you do right there, that's a ClickFunnels page. We duplicate it. We change out the ebook guide and the web form, and we're done. And the SEO and whatever else you change it out. But takes 20, 30 minutes. And then we update the sequence, and then our ebooks are there. And we keep the ebooks, vanilla, so we don't put years and dates and months and stuff in them. We kind of just keep them seasonal based, so we can just keep using them as we go. Yeah, and they work really good if they're separated out. You're kind of helping two things at once. But we've been doing those forever, and they work really well. And we've been tracking the stats too. It hasn't just been a spray and pray model. So we're getting our cost per click is less than $1, and then our pages convert at 25 to 40%. So that's how we can more or less guarantee that we're getting $3 to $4 leads, and then that person is a much more warm, quote unquote consumer for the 6-week challenge. And we track every single thing in our CRM, so we can see that they've been on our list for 6 months. Now they're a lead for a 6-week challenge, and they converted.
Are you still getting $3 to $4 leads across everything?
Across everything for lead magnets for years and years. Now, our obviously cost per lead for our intro programs, like the 6-week challenge and stuff, is dramatically higher. But we can't spend enough. We can't spend enough on our 6-week challenge. So on our ROI kind of factors, we can spend up to $50 per lead and still be profitable on the front end. And we're getting leads between 15 and 30 in mass volume. So it's not like 4 or 5 leads. Let's bring it up from last month. It's just tracking stuff. We got 204 6-week challenge leads at one location last month and 207 at the other.
You've probably had everyone in Red Deer has opted into a 360 funnel
yes.
at some point.
Yes, and multiple times.
Because your list size is massive. I remember it was pretty big 10 years ago.
We still got about 20,000 people on our list. And
it's half the town.
Yeah, and that's between both of them, right? But we chip that list down, so it's not just an ego thing. If they're unengaged, they're non-marketable, opt-outs, whatever else. That's a list that I can send things to, rather than just having this big list where it's undeliverable to 85% of the people.
Yep.
And have you switched more over to lead ads, or are you still what percentage
more
is
often
driving to a landing page and what is not? What's
I know
how much are you keeping it native to Facebook, and how much are you driving to an external page these days?
We do both, but our best, our lower ad costs are our lead forms, and our higher intent people are our landing page things. So you have to kind of take with both with a grain of salt, and we rotate them through. So usually we run kind of one of our named campaigns, whatever it is, usually about 60 to 90 days. And we rotate those guys in and out. So every 2 weeks or so, if the cost per lead is going too high in the lead form, we switch to a landing page and then let that run for a couple weeks. And see the performers on that. It's okay, landing pages is doing really good with this ad copy, with this image, or with this video. And you just keep the top 2 ads, you cut the bottom 2, and you just flip and duplicate and go back and forth. But I find that if you're doing a short-term thing, I say our cost per lead, and overall, if I had one way to do it, I'd keep it on lead forms. Just Facebook and Instagram is self-motivating, and that makes sense. They're going to keep everybody on platform. It's really easy for the consumer, but there's not a lot of data there. There's not a lot of information. And again, for us, we have a high-ticket offer where it's, a lot is involved, and social proof is really, really dominant for us. And a lot of the times we always ask our clients, how did you hear about us and everything else? They fill in the lead forms, and then what do? They go hunting. They go hunting for research. After the lead form, they go on that Google page, they go on our Facebook reviews, they go on our Yelp and everything else, and they just see literally thousands of social proof. And they're oh, okay, well, I'll keep that appointment.
What was the process again? You had some elaborate process for banging out thousands of social proof at a time, and I remember we're just not going to do this. This sounds too hard.
Well, we just have a part of our program now. It's just a part of our client agreement on our 6-week challenge. They take a before photo at home. So it's no pressure, whatever else. And then at the end, they have their after photo with us, and then holding up their whiteboards, their chalkboards in front of more social proof with their name, the duration, and the results. And now we used to run before and afters in the golden day, right? But now they just get flagged too many times.
Well, that's what I saw on one of your ads recently. This is kind of a big brain move. There's a video, if anyone listening goes to look, Jack is holding up the before and afters or the whiteboard photos and
video
describing
is it?
them.
I got him.
It's on one of the ad libraries, but he's just, instead of getting flagged by the social proof photos, he is talking about them in a video and just kind of
Yeah.
holding them in his hand. And you can get around the Facebook police that way.
Yeah, and you can do
Genius.
slideshows, you can do carousels, you can do.
Meet Heather, a local lady, everyday lady, and an amazing human. But just like so many of us, she's stuck in her ruts. She was struggling to make it all work and just not feeling herself anymore. She had a busy work life, busy family life, and just kind of felt stuck in the overall grind. She knew she wanted to make a change, so she took part in our 6-week challenge, and in just 6 weeks, she transformed her fitness, her health, and more importantly, her outlook on life. Everything can change in just 6 weeks, and it just did for Heather. 27 pounds, 22 inches gone, and stronger and more confident than ever. So if you want to learn more how to get similar results just like Heather, or like Betty with 22 inches gone, or like Dawn with 23 pounds gone, or Tammy, 19 inches down, click the link below to learn more about our 6-week personal training and nutrition program. It guarantees results, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.
Yeah,
How'd you figure
simple.
that out?
We've done the same thing for men. And then for our Fit Over 50, we have clients that are over 50 with their social proof too. Sometimes I take a video in front of them. Sometimes I literally just hold up my phone and just like scan it on the people. It's like, this is Barb, and she did this in 6 weeks, and this is Sally, and she did this in 6 weeks, and this is Dale, and he did
that's
this in
pretty
6
genius
weeks.
as well.
And it's just like, it's not super pressured or like flashy or whatever. Like, those are like the new videos too, with captions and
I was just about to
music.
say you can do it all in post. You can just like
Totally.
You can just
Yeah.
like spy on your clients in the gym. Just be like, have an arrow being
Yeah.
like, this person Bing lost this many pounds or whatever. You can just narrate the whole thing.
Yeah, and we
Pretty
do that
awesome.
too. And it's just really simple stuff. Really simple stuff. And the great thing about it is like we're really nailed down to like who our target is. You know, and like for each program, you know, what does their typical day look like? How many pounds do they typically have when they join us? You know, what are their problems and what are the solutions we need to, so we can really call out those people in particular.
Let's
Which
watch
is
this
great.
Fit Over 50 one. Is script 3 or script 4 performing better?
Depends on men and women, but I'd say 3 right now. And we have like 5 scripts and we just rotate them all.
All right, let's watch her.
At 360 Fitness, we have a specialized fitness and nutrition program just for folks over 50. So if you're tired of being sick and tired all the time and want to feel and move your best, regardless of age, this is for you. Our 6-week Fit Over 50 program is designed to help you build strength, improve your mobility, and boost your energy back. We're on a mission to help our clients transform their health and to feel their best, regardless of age. So if you're ready to take back control of your health and fitness and to move better and feel your best, click the link below to learn more about the program and see if we're a right fit for you. We'll see you soon.
Straightforward.
There's no mic, people. No mic. Nothing.
Yeah, I got a little
gotta make
lapel
it-
guy.
Oh,
and that's
he's
it.
got a lab. It's not plugged in though.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just simple stuff. And honestly, like our videos work really well. But our lower cost per lead is our pictures. But I find that if I pair videos and images together in the same ad campaigns and ad sets, it helps overall. You know, they might not fill out the form on the video. They might consume that information, you know, for 30 to 60 seconds, keep going. And then they see an ad with an image. That's maybe when they're going to fulfill it. But it's not like one that's going to be a winner forever, you know, and that's okay. You just kind of keep them rotating through and give them a varied, a creative script and creative content, you know, that it's not the exact same thing at all time, and just keep it fresh. And then it all filters down, like it all filters down into a 6-week challenge, you know, so the page is there, you know, the offer is there, the price is there, everything's there. And then we just call out certain people at certain times.
So you have the 6-week challenge, $600. You said you convert people into a $6,500 back end program. How does that work?
Yeah, so they go through their 6-week challenge. We start really getting them into the process on day one. I'd say about 10 to 15% of the people that are there for a 6-week challenge consultation sign up for a 1-year program on day one. You know, it's just, and that's really depends on the confidence of the salesperson and their goals. And a lot of the times, if they're there for big picture things and they're really committed and they're telling us like this is a long-term journey, then we're like, awesome. We're going to reward you for that. Your first 6 weeks is on us. Sign here for the next, 52 weeks after that. So we sign them up on a 58-week program on day one. So they have
Day one of their intro program. You're locking
Yeah.
them in.
Yeah, but if they're there for their goals and they're like, I want to do this, I'm like, wonderful. I think you're going to crush it. The first 6 weeks is on us. We take their payment information, everything else, we put it on there, and it's great. And that's like our client acquisition, right? Done. Easy peasy. I'll pay $300 of fulfillment to sign them up on a $6,000 program any day of the week. And then for us too, it takes that not the burden, but all those steps of our sales team for the next 6 weeks, those reach outs and goal setting sessions and follow up and everything else, that's off the table now, which is great. They're already done. So it's like, what's that cost worth to you? It's like given to them on the front end. And then for our regular 6 week stuff, we tell them on day one, it's like, here's the next step. So we really forecast it out. We really map the journey out for them so they have their options and they know what the next step is going to be rather than just getting to the edge of the cliff and then not knowing where to go. And then at week 3 and 4, they have a sit down or a one-on-one phone call with that salesperson or a leadership team that brought them on. And then they have another final at the very end. So we have 3 chances to get them in.
Different than their trainer? Sorry, is this person
for
different
them?
than their coach?
95% of the time. Yeah, because these are our managers and our leadership team that are typically our salespeople. Yeah. And our clients have given us great feedback on that because they can tell us the good, bad, and the ugly, right? So it gives us, 3 weeks to fix any issues or to accelerate the issues or to really just compound all the positives that they have had, right? And just double down on all the good things about it. Because now they have more people in their camp. They have more supports with them. And then that sales team knows, what it's going to take to make that sale. So the trainer doesn't have to feel any hardcore sales pressure or nothing else. And then the leadership team is like, these are your options. This is where to go. So they have that rinse and repeat. They have a lot of reps.
Well, your coaches can focus on coaching, right?
Yeah, and that's great.
Which is,
Yeah.
that's the thing getting them the results, right?
Yeah.
So they can just zero in on that. And then your salespeople can just focus on selling.
Yeah, and the good thing is the sales team usually reaches out to their head coach before that goal setting session halfway through or at the end. Like, how's Sally doing? What are her struggles? What are her wins? What are her bright spots, we call them, and go from there. So we really start that meeting. It's like, hey, Sally, these are the great things you've accomplished on week 3. By week 3, here's your goals. You're halfway there. Keep going. Stay on this path. So it gives them a lot more support, a lot more structure, and they get to see that same person that they initially had that consultation with, which is a big deep dive into that person's like 15, 30 minutes of just, letting them know everything about them, good, bad, and ugly. So it's a nice little repetitive appointment for it. And then by the end of it, we're converting our goals now about 40 to 50%, but right now we're about 30 to 40. So we do have to improve our conversions. But we're selling about 25 to 35% of all leads into a 6-week challenge. And then we're doing about 30 to 50% of all the 6-week challengers into a 1-year program. And then our retention is 96%. So if we can get them in, we know, potentially we have a lifer.
25% of all. So you have 100 leads, you're selling 25 a 6-week
bare bones minimum. And then about 10% of those 6-week challengers into a full-time program right off the bat.
So 100 leads is worth what? So you'd have 10 at the 6,500, so that's 65,000 there. And then the 600 would be the remaining 15.
No, it's 10 to 15% of all the intro consultations turn into a full-time member right off the bat. So let's say if we have, 100 leads, we're going to get about 40% of those guys booked. So let's say we have 40 bookings. We're going to have a 75% show rate. That's 30. And we're going to do about 80% close rate. So we're converting about 25 people out of 100. And I'd say
10
20
of those, 15 by the 6-week, 10 are buying
percentage.
Okay, so 2 to 3 by the year, and the remaining by the 6 week.
You bet. So let's just not even consider any full-time sales on day 1. None of those. Let's just assume the absolute worst. We're doing 25 at $600, so it's 15 grand. Bare bones minimum in cash upfront for that, and then we're selling shake packages to those people. On average, somebody buys about $50 to $100 worth of additional products or services in those 6 weeks. And it's right there, which is great. And then on the front end, we know our fulfillment rates on everything and we over project them. So it's everything. So we take our highest paid coaches, we use those as our session rates. We take our highest paid salesperson, we use those as the sales rates. We include our books, our manuals, our admin time for that person to get booked into in the schedule, everything, their free samples that they get. We include all of that in our fulfillment costs. We take our fulfillment costs plus our acquisition costs for the ads, put them together. That's ad cost and acquisition. And we have a front end offer that's profitable between $85 and $150 on the front end. Rinse and repeat every single month. And we put about $5,000 to $6,000 a month into the marketing machine at each location. And we come out with about $45,000 to $55,000 in front end campaign cash revenue that has nothing to do with the products they sold or the full-time sales or nothing. So we have a 4 to 6 return on ad spend every single month at the bare bones minimum. And it just converts from there. So it would cost us money to not advertise for a month.
And
And
so
you don't
does
want to
that
lose money on the deal.
Yeah, you
No.
don't want to go in the red.
No, and it's great too because this is one-on-one person training. So we're at a luxury that we can evergreen and roll these people on an onboarding. We don't have to do sales for 2 weeks and then an onboarding every 2 weeks. We can have rolling sales, which is lovely.
But those people opting in for the 6 weeks, they have been marketed to prior. Like you've spent ad
Big-
dollars
yeah.
on them before
Yeah.
this campaign, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about before, they're getting the lead magnet ads, they're getting the awareness video ads, they're getting all this other stuff
Yep.
prior.
Yep.
A lot of
And
them
that brings
may be
down our cost
returning
per lead.
people, right? These are people who did the 6 week challenge a year ago, and they're doing it again. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's eerily similar every single month. Like we can change the month and, the results are pretty much the same. And there's some things inside those little funnels that you tweak and we just know where the issue is that month. Hey, we have a low booking rate this month, or we have a low conversion rate this month, or, our cost per lead is a little bit higher. So we know where to isolate those problems rather than just throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We can really track and monitor every single step along the funnel and see where we need to improve. And it allows us to fix it and throw some more money behind it rather than just spraying and praying.
Well, Mr. Wheeler, we're going a little over an hour now. I want to give people an opportunity to go out and find you in the world. Where's the best place to get in contact?
Yeah, mainly through our 360 Fitness public pages. We're on Instagram and Facebook. We have 360 Fitness Red Deer and 360 Fitness Sherwood Park. Instagram and Facebook for both of those. You can kind of see what we're up to.
And if you guys like this, let us know in the comments, and we'd be happy to have Jack give us a deeper dive if he would let us. Sound good?
Yeah, we have 10 years of Excel sheets. We can rock and roll. We have stats and data.
All right, Mr. Wheeler, thank you so much. You are an absolute legend.
Thanks, gentlemen. Likewise.